Thank you very much for tuning back in again. This is the next half of our presentation on the Roman Republic and the Roman Empire. Let's continue on with discussion about the Punic Wars. This will be covered more in Crash Course as well. The Romans went to war with the neighboring kingdom Carthage, based in northern Africa. As the Roman Empire was expanding, and the Roman Republic was expanding to be exact, so too did they face surmounting pressures from neighboring peoples. This map here depicts how big the Republic would essentially become. In the Punic Wars, the Carthaginians engaged the Romans in 3 long wars over the course of about 100 years. This, of course, in many ways hurt the Republic and cost a lot in terms of blood and treasure. Led by the great general Hannibal, the Carthaginians nearly defeated the Romans in the Second War, and they invaded the Italian peninsula and even almost captured Rome. So this clearly shows an awareness of just maybe how not impenetrable the Roman army was during this time. The Romans held the Carthaginians off and then completely destroyed Carthage in their Third War. So clearly this was a turning point for them in their favor. With Carthage's defeat, the Romans were then the most dominant power in all the Mediterranean, carving out an even bigger and more enormous empire than before. Now you can see the full extent of Roman rule in the ancient world. When we look at this map, you can clearly see that the Roman Republic turned empire would cover parts of modern-day France, Spain and the Iberian Peninsula, parts of Britain, and also other parts of southeastern Europe. Controlling this massive territory, though, would present new problems for the Romans. Some problems in the Roman Republic. Rome's expanding territory brought wealth, but also many key issues. The new lands brought more slaves, which created a job shortage for Roman citizens. Additionally, generals who controlled the army became more powerful than the senators who ruled in government themselves. Additionally, people flocked to the big cities from farms, which created food supply shortages. Struggles for power led to a series of civil wars between the Romans, and as you guys are aware, a general rule of thumb for understanding world history and world cultures is that civil wars are bad for society. Now let's focus on the iconic Julius Caesar. From turmoil within the Roman Republic, a new political leader emerged, a general named Julius Caesar. What makes Caesar so notable is the fact that he partnered with 2 other Roman politicians to take control of Rome, and they formed a triumvirate. That's a key term we're going to come back to later on in the lesson. Julius was extremely popular with the Roman people due to his great military victories and prowess. But additionally, Julius Caesar gathered more power to himself while looking to solve the Roman Republic's problems by initiating reforms. Caesar named himself dictator for life in the year 46 BCE, which did weaken the senator's power a great substantial deal. Fearing that he was becoming too powerful, though, members of the Roman Senate conspired to assassinate Caesar, and that they did. Caesar was cornered and stabbed to death in the Roman Senate building, which began to end the Roman Republic as we know it. Of course, for those of you who read the tragedy of Julius Caesar, all the vivid details are conveyed in that way. Now, the assassination led to another civil war led by Caesar's adopted son Octavian and his best general Marc Antony. Julius Caesar's death changed Rome, and the people no longer trusted the Senate to rule the Roman Republic. And as you guys are aware, when people of a society begin to lose trust in their elected officials and government, that's when potentially bad things can happen. So Octavian exacted revenge on the senators who assassinated Julius Caesar, and Octavian soon became undisputed ruler of Rome, renaming himself Augustus Caesar. Augustus means exalted one. Julius Caesar's last name became the title for emperor. Now Augustus did away with the senator's power, eventually ending the representative government of Rome and becoming Rome's first emperor. The Senate still met, but the emperor had all of the real power, though. Additionally, you can see some stark differences as Rome would transform. Under the Republican form of government, elected officials led, but now all that power shifted to the emperor. For as far as term limits, or how long they can rule, it went from 1 year to for life. As far as how do new leaders take power, they're appointed by the Senate in a republic form of government, but in under imperial form of government, it happens by inheritance or by force. Clearly you can see some looming issues here. Augustus's 41-year reign marked the beginning of a 207-year era of peace, wealth, and expansion called the Pax Romana, or the Roman peace. from about 27 BCE to 180 CE, as depicted here on this timeline too. The empire was over 3 million square miles in size and contained about 80 million people. The Pax Romana became the golden age of Rome as emperors like Augustus built well-paved roads and a modern infrastructure, and they had a merit-based bureaucracy to rule the empire too. Here's a picture of a Roman royal road. This map also shows a network of Roman roads. As you can see, they were quite advanced and expanded across the whole breadth of the empire. Roman aqueducts were also really popular too, and they brought water to cities in this way. Additionally, Roman architects used new styles like concrete domes to beautify cities. And also emperors built arenas and used chariot races, gladiator events, and theater to entertain the Roman people. Here, for example, is a picture of a Roman Colosseum. Now, it should be noted here, and by the way, there's a picture of course, gladiator match taking place, that for as much talk as Rome gets, perhaps one of the most iconic things to keep in mind here is that Rome would have a wide range of different emperors over the years, and thus no one thing would ever maintain the same similar characteristics as far as governing powers. There would be a series of bad emperors and good emperors, as you can see here: Caligula, Nero, Domitian, and also good emperors like Nerva, Trajan, Antonius Pius, Hadrian, Marcus Aurelius, and more. Now, several emperors were excellent leaders, like the ones mentioned before. What made them good is their ability to balance power and also represent the people and be conducive to the needs and wills of the people, and also administer executive agencies appropriately. Some were not so good, though. For example, Nero was ruthless and uncaring of the Roman people's well-being, and the legend is that Nero played his fiddle while part of the Rome burned and then blamed Christians for the fire. Commodus was a weak and inept leader, leading to a life of laziness and debauchery. And Domitian was paranoid and devised many tortures and executions for his political enemies, and often many people would gather to see them executed in some capacity to death. Caligula was a psychopath. He raped whomever he wanted, killed for greed and pleasure, and thought he should have been treated as a god. Keep in mind, though, that despite having some bad emperors mixed in with the great ones, the Roman Empire still grew in size, power, prosperity, and glory. It might come to a surprise to know the fact that all things come to an end, and the Roman Empire, for all of its greatness and successes and achievements, would eventually decline and fall. So in conclusion, as you can see here, we take several key takeaways from the Roman Empire and Roman Republic. You see, Rome expanded from a city to a republic to an empire across the ancient world. Additionally, Rome itself, or the era of the Roman Republic, introduced representative democracy, which is a widely used form of government today. Let's also not forget that the era of the Roman Empire led to the Pax Romana and the golden age of Roman innovation and culture. So it's clear to see that there are many reasons as to why we hail Rome in the Republic and also imperial years to being great for what it was, despite all the problems that we're going to learn about next in the fall of the mighty Roman Empire. Thank you very much for tuning in, and good luck with completing the rest of the lesson.